All right. Welcome to the I'm a Practicing Musician podcast, where we explore what it means to be a practicing musician from perspectives spanning music educators to famous musicians. I'm your host, Jake Douglas, and our guest today is Leah Carnagey. Leah has 21 years of teaching public school music in elementary, middle school, and high school. She enjoys seeing students thrive using the gift of music and also brings professional experience to teaching, having sung in grand opera and the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar and jazz, country, show tunes, top 40, classical arias. But now she gets the most joy in singing praise and worship music. So I'm excited to dive into this conversation. How are you doing today, Leah?
I am wonderful, Jake. Good to see you.
Excellent. Now, the first question I always ask on this podcast is, in your view, what does it mean to be a practicing musician?
Well, a musician is one that practices music, but you have to keep practicing to keep your game up. If you're not going forward, you're going backwards. So you need to keep your skills up. And it's just an ongoing thing. If you want to be better at your craft, you have to keep practicing.
Yeah. And so, how do you get started with practice as a new musician, and how does that evolve over time?
Um, well, say that again. What was that question again?
So there's this kind of notion a lot of aspiring musicians have of it's too much work. I have to put in too much work to be able to get proficient enough to be able to play with people or whatever their goal is. So how does the actual practice change over time from kind of that craft building phase to becoming an artist and
Okay.
maintaining your skills?
Well, beginning, you do the the regular exercises, pentatonic scales, breath control, oneness of sound with the vowels, and that's can be kind of boring, but you can change it up and do 1 3 5 4 2 7 1, and that makes it a lot more interesting to warm up the scale that way. Also, singing songs. I
Mm.
find just picking a song and warming up on a song that gets you in the mood of actually singing the music rather than just practicing because you're going to want to sing a message anyway. So you might as well take a song and see what the message is and use it as a warm up.
Mm. Yeah, and was there a moment in time where you felt the shift from I'm just practicing these things, I don't really understand why I'm practicing them to, oh, now I'm singing?
I guess high school, I started taking voice lessons. And then I
Mhm.
started getting some solos in my school. And I went, wow, that's cool. I like that. You know, not only am I practicing, but I'm actually realizing that singing is a gift I can give to people. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. And so you started singing in choir, it sounds like, or did you sing before you joined the choir?
Oh, well, I started singing at 3 years old. My mother tells me the preacher's wife asked me to come up and sing Jesus Loves Me, and I walked up there and did it. I don't remember that, but I just always remember singing. If anybody asked, I'd sing. So, and
Hmm.
then I went through choirs and thought, that's a lot of fun. Let's keep going on this. So I went to college and
Hmm.
got my BA and in voice and music ed, and decided wanted to sing rather than teach at that moment.
Mm. And where did you go to college?
Houston Baptist University, Houston,
Okay.
Texas.
And you were studying worship music specifically, worship
No, I was studying classical
class?
music. Yeah,
Okay. And that's how you got involved in opera?
right. Yeah.
Nice. So were you actually singing opera at that time and can you hit the really, really high notes?
Yes, yes, I can. While we were there, I was able to do some opera previews for the operas that would come to Houston. And at
Mhm.
one of the previews, a man came up to me and said, you know, we have not cast the role of Emily yet in the Globalings. Would you like to audition? I said, sure. And so I went to Jones Hall, and there was a piano and the light bulb that you always see. And you
Mhm.
stand by the light bulb and you sing to this one man who's somewhere in the auditorium. And he said, okay, you got the role. So I started playing a lead role in a grand opera. Just just an opportunity that came.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty incredible first opportunity at that age. Now, at the risk of potentially being offensive, or is the stereotype about opera true? That
Well, what stereotype is that?
that it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Well, it wasn't true in my case.
Nice. Yeah, okay. Because that's have not been a huge opera fan, but when I was in Italy, I studied in Italy and I went to the Verdi Festival in Parma,
Oh,
Italy.
wow.
And it was just so beautiful. I couldn't understand anything that they were saying, but the music part of it was very moving. And one of our director of AI and education just finished his PhD in transcribing Saint-Marie, which is an opera written by Georg Joseph Vogler back in the late 18th century, I believe.
Hmm.
And so I've been learning a lot more about opera through him. Were you mostly involved in the singing portion, or have you been involved in other aspects as well?
Mostly singing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's nice. So what has been the benefit to you of focusing your career on the singing aspect rather than branching out into composition and instrumentation and different things like that?
I found that my gift was singing. I do compose some, I play the piano some, but that's not my gift. And I wanted to focus on what I was good at.
Hmm.
And so my husband actually was good at the piano, so we actually meshed wonderfully. He would accompany me and actually breathe with me when I would sing, incredibly enough.
Hmm.
And even if I changed how I sang the song, he would follow me. So we worked very well together, and I got used to that. And it was just a wonderful partnership. But
Hmm.
singing the message of a song, what is the message you're trying to get across, and how are you going to do it?
Hmm.
What techniques are you going to use? What dynamics would be good here? How can you change it so it's not always the same? That sort
So,
of thing.
so your interpretation.
Right.
And as a singer, so I'm not a singer, and trust me, you don't want to hear me try. But so you're actually from almost one word to the next, or sometimes in between words, utilizing different techniques to get the right type of expression based off of your interpretation. Is that how does that work?
Well, you look at the text of the song. What are you trying to convey? Is it a somber piece? Is it a joyful piece? You might color your tones for a somber piece. You might have a darker tone or a lighter song, a brighter song. You would have a brighter tone. So knowing how to use your voice enables you with these techniques to change how you interpret the song.
Hmm. And how do you go from bright to dark, for example? What would be what
You
do you
actually have the tones dark going back into your throat. Bright is when it hits the soft palate and comes out, and it's bright. But when you keep it back in your throat, it's a darker tone. It's a more somber, melancholy tone.
interesting? And so this is actually different parts of your body that you're utilizing and that you
Right.
actually have to learn to control, it sounds like, to be able to make.
Exactly. Yes.
How do you focus on learning to make the control? I mean, I know when I was learning drums, it was just a clumsy mess. And I just had to figure out how to get all of this interdependence going. And I know the process that I went through, but I've never talked to somebody about doing this in the vocal world. So yeah, what kind of exercises do you use to focus on
A
each?
lot of breath exercises and diaphragm exercises. Most singers sing in their throat, which is incorrect, and take shallow breaths. So you have to retrain your body to take deep breaths and use your diaphragm to push the air out. So you
Mm,
have to develop the muscle of the diaphragm.
okay.
And that takes control. It takes certain exercises, which are not fun, but you have to do it if you want control of the muscle.
Yeah.
And once you do, then you have this glorious sound that can come out, and you're controlling how fast the air comes out and what you do with the air.
Mm. And so it's not in your throat. That's interesting because I normally hear about it like, oh, this person has the right vocal cords or this person has a vocal polyp so they can't sing anymore or whatever it might
Mm.
be. But you're saying that that's just a mechanism for the sound to come out, but not where you're actually.
Right. Actually, the throat, the neck, and the shoulders need to be out of the way. They need to be open and relaxed, which is contrary to the way we breathe. A lot of people breathe with their shoulders up, which is incorrect.
Yeah.
Uh, or tight shoulders or tightness in the jaw or the throat. And that hinders how the tone is going to come out. You need
Yeah.
to have a free area for the tone to come up.
Fascinating. No, we talk about that a lot. And so I grew up playing flute and then went to saxophone and jazz band because I'd been playing for 6 years by the time I got into the first year band in school. So I was like, no, I don't need to learn how to play A. But that's, a lot of the issues is breathing. People go like
Yes,
this, and then they
exactly.
tension, so then their fingers aren't working correctly. And so
And
it's
also another thing, singers will raise their chin when they sing, trying to hit the high notes, which is the opposite of what you need to do.
yeah, they're looking up like, please let me
Yep.
hit this note. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the opposite of what you need to do now. So it almost sounds like what you're doing is you're creating a big cavern for more resonance in
Right.
there.
Right. And the sinuses will resonate. If you keep the tension out of your neck and throat, all of that works just to let the sound come forth freely. It's great.
Mm.
But when you get tension in your neck, it's going to hinder, it's going to stop that flow, and you're going to get a strained tone.
Mm. Well, okay. That what would have like so you said it can sound nasally. Do you think the people with nasally sounds could fix that by breathing correctly and
You know what? I think they could
yeah.
because they need to open up the passageways. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess kind of like sleep apnea too. It's like, well, you're not able to sleep very well because of this passage, but then you introduce some tool that helps them breathe better and we're
Yeah.
asleep. And so we can learn to control our body to this degree. That's pretty phenomenal. Do you, now that you have this control, do you have better awareness of that just as you're going about your everyday life? Like, oh, my shoulders are going up, or
Mhm. Yes. Yes. I can feel the tension as it builds up. Stress will build up tension in your neck, shoulders, and jaw. And you have to physically, mentally relax it to get it out of there. It's not going to go away by itself.
hmm. And in my experience, so that's what benefits does that provide? Maybe I should ask. Being able to,
Oh, being able to sing freely. Oh my gosh, just no tension. People go, "How did you sing that? It was beautiful." Well, there was a lot of work that went into that sound, but you don't let the people see the work. They see the effortlessness of the tone and they think it's just a natural, but you've really worked very hard to get it to look natural and to be natural because the body is working very hard. The diaphragm, your breath support, all that's working. It's
Mhm.
just all of this up here is very free. And so people go, "Oh, I didn't think you just hit that high note. It was so beautiful. How did you do that?" Well, a lot of work went involved.
Yeah. No, it's I heard a really good interview the other day with this comedian. The first time he went on a big, I think it was Letterman, and John Travolta was the other guest. And John Travolta comes up to him after he's done being interviewed, and he's like, "Hey, are you going up next?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, it's my first time going on live TV." He's like, "Oh, well, you've already done it." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You've already done it." He's like, "No, I haven't. I'm telling you, this is my first time on live TV." He's like, "No, I'm telling you that you've already done it. You put in all the work. Now all that you have to do is go and enjoy it. Just go up there
That's
and
right.
enjoy it."
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the work's done and everybody doesn't know that.
No, they
You
don't know
made it
what
to that
goes on
stage already.
behind the scenes. Yeah. To get you to that point where people go, "Wow, that was so nice and easy to listen to."
Hmm.
You have singers that hurt your ears to listen to them.
Oh
It's
yeah.
because they're working so hard and they're using the wrong mechanisms to get the tone out.
Yeah, like heavy metal, like by the way, I am wearing a heavy metal shirt, so I like heavy metal, but yeah. So what kind of benefits does that level of control over those areas of your body have in your everyday life? Does that transfer into?
Um, well, you breathe better with better breath control. You're healthier. Uh, I think I stay younger. I'm more healthy
Mhm.
than people my age. I use my body every day, and it's it's the right way to treat your body is to breathe correctly. And doctors will tell you this: breath control is so important to all aspects of your body, because you have to get the breath into the cells and into every part of your body. And shallow breaths are not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Thank you. So let's dive a little bit more into your music education history. When did you said that you actually performed for the first time when you were 3, but when did you actually start taking lessons, and what was your progression of the lessons that you took through college, or even if you continued on after college?
well, I started lessons in high school, and I
Hmm.
got some special solos in my high school choir because of that. Went on to college, and I was able to do the lead roles in several operas that we had in college. My voice teacher was a former operatic singer, so she'd been to New York and she'd been over to Europe and everything. So I got more of a classical training, a European type training, and how to do oneness of sounds and how to make my voice the same, just change the lips for each vowel, not, but the sound, the air is the same. The lips and the diction determine what the word is, what the vowel is. So I was able to learn more the intricacies of that
Mm-hmm.
from her.
Fascinating. And then how did that transition into, so you went from learning about singing to actually becoming a professional singer?
Right. And it transferred greatly. Even in pop music, you still use your breath control. You still use all the mechanisms. You can still breathe correctly. A lot of pop singers don't, but I did. And so I was able to sing for years on the road without problems because I sang correctly. And I
Mm.
would learn how to sing country the way country was, jazz. I would find the style of the music and try to emulate what nuances were in the style. So I was able to do all sorts of just different styles of music. And they would say, "You sound just like the record." Well, possibly, but not really. But I got the feeling across that it was the same sound as the record, but I was doing it with breath control and proper technique.
Yeah, and so it's so there's a little bit of adopting the mindset of a parrot.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Uh, cool. Yeah, and so, well, so are there different techniques for singing all of those different genres, or is it just the way that I mean, yeah, how does that work?
Well, I would listen to a Loretta Lynn song, let's say, or Crystal Gale, and there was a kind of a nasal, kind of a haunting ability, haunting sound in it. So I would emulate that, which people would recognize that as her sound. So I'd find something in each song or each artist that was particular to them and emulate that. But like I said, I would still use my breath control and my technique still, but I
Hmm.
would get the sound to be quite similar to their sound.
Hmm. Okay. And why did you choose to go outside of opera?
Well, actually, my husband and I got a chance to do Jesus Christ Superstar, and we toured the US doing that. And I loved being Mary Magdalene. That was so much fun.
Nice.
And after that, the opportunity just came about that we could form a band and travel around and just do all kinds of music, all sorts of genres, and entertain people. And it just became fun. So I thought, well, let's try this for a while. Because opera is very hard to get into, actually. It's very competitive. And I was a very small person, and it would have been harder for me because people don't think small people can do very much in opera. You have to have this big physique. There's
Yeah.
that mindset to be able to do the heavy roles. And even though I could do the roles, the perception was probably not, even though I did opera. Uh, I could see the handwriting on the wall in that respect.
Hmm.
So I just went out and did other types of music.
Yeah. Now the Probably shouldn't ask that question. I'm going to ask the question. Is the castrati thing still in opera? Is that do
I
they still
don't
do
think
that?
they do that anymore. There is something called the countertenor, whose voice is actually like a castrati, but it's a natural voice. And there are a few of those around who can
Mm,
sing all the way up into the soprano range.
mm.
So those are, of course, they're very highly regarded now and paid quite a lot of money to do that. But those are natural singers.
Interesting. So at this point, what is I mean, you're now in worship music, but what would you say has been your favorite genre to sing throughout your career?
Oh, that's hard to say because I found that whatever genre I was doing, I did it to my best. And if I was doing country, I wanted to be the best country. If I was doing jazz, I wanted to really do jazz. It was just whatever I was doing at the moment was my favorite.
Mm,
And that sounds silly, I know, but that was the way I approached the music and I made it my own that way.
nice. Yeah, so with the other genres, did you write your own tunes or were you mostly doing covers or?
Mostly doing covers. John and I wrote a couple of songs. Um, and, you know, we weren't able to produce them yet. We just ran out of money, but we had a couple of songs we were going to produce.
Very
Yep.
expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was very expensive. Yeah.
That was back before digital too, right? So that
Right.
was
Yeah.
expensive.
You had to hire the musicians, go in the studio. In fact, there was one chance. I don't know if you remember a song called "Sexy Eyes" by Dr. Hook or Dr. John. It was a
Probably not. I'm actually for a
Okay,
musician,
it
not
was a
sure
big
what it
seller years ago. Well, that was actually my song first. My producer gave me the song, and we went in the studio and put the tracks down, but we ran out of money.
is.
And so that did that. But Dr. Hook or whoever he was heard my recording and got the rights to the song, and then he took it and made millions of dollars off of it. So
Oh, well, that's how it goes
that's
in
the way it
showbiz,
goes.
baby. Yeah, well, that's too bad. And but yeah, it does happen. I mean, that's part of I've got buddies in Nashville doing the whole songwriting. They're just turning out songs for other people and they get paid
Yeah.
50, $200 sometimes. And then those people, if it hits
Yeah.
big, no, they make millions. It's like, well, you got 50 bucks.
I know. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So where were you? You were traveling a lot. Did you live in one of these music hubs while you were performing, or where was your home base?
Probably Houston, where my parents lived, but we traveled all over the US and Canada and Alaska and even went to Switzerland during the ski season one year, which
Ooh.
was wonderful. Getting to ski in the Alps and then sing, well, looking at the Alps, it was beautiful.
No, I didn't. I studied in northern Italy, but I never made it up to the Alps, and I am a snowboarder, so I was
Oh, they're gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes.
nice, nice. And were you performing during that time as well?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful. Did you eat cheese that you bit into and missed? Is that
No.
no? Yeah.
Uh,
I think they need to apologize for selling something that you could possibly not be able to eat. Seems so mean, but let's see. So so you at some point went from just singing as a career into teaching as a career.
right.
Tell me about that transition.
My husband and I decided the road was getting old and we wanted to have a child. So we settled down and he became a pastor. And I started doing worship music and finally got pregnant with my little one.
Mhm.
And after a while, I decided I think I want to teach. And so I started substituting in schools just to see what it was like. Found out, hey, I could do this, even though it's been years since I was in school, and started teaching. I think it was middle school. Yeah, middle school. And then went to high school and then back down to elementary eventually.
Hmm. And what was the difference between those different types of gigs?
Oh, elementary. The kids love you. They give you hugs and kisses,
Yeah.
and they're easy to teach if you make it fun.
Mm.
And every time they would come in, I'd go, "We have a game today." And they'd get so excited because whatever the game was fun for them, but it was my teaching was the game. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as they knew it was a game, hey, they could learn it. Instead of, hey, we've got to learn this exercise today, everybody sit down, everybody clap the beat. Oh, that would not have worked.
No.
So I could play more games with the elementary and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually did big programs at the end of the year with my elementary. We'd have 450 kids, and I'd be in the college gym, directing all these kids by myself. And they would all be singing and following me. It was just incredible. But we had trained everything. This is the way we do. This is what you do in a performance etiquette and audience etiquette. What does that mean? We talked about all that. So
450 kids in an elementary school. So that's a pretty big music program for an elementary school. Were you
yeah,
at that
and we
time?
were all doing the same program at the end of the year.
Okay.
So it'd be kindergarten through fourth grade.
Oh, wow. So it's not even like up here where it's kindergarten through sixth grade for elementary. That's so was that in Houston as well? That
Well,
seems
that was in Alpine, Texas, out in West Texas in the Big Bend area.
okay.
There was only one elementary school in town, so if you were a little kid, you went there.
Yeah. And, and so what would happen as you would move from the fourth grade elementary up to the fifth grade junior high or middle school or whatever it's called? What did you see in the shift in the students?
Oh, the attitude of the kiddos. They were harder to teach. Um, I'm trying to remember. I was teaching in Houston at that time, and I was in kind of not a ghetto area, but close to ghetto. So it was a hard situation to be in. There was a lot of tension between the races.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do choirs at that time and teach concepts, and it was really more difficult. Um, the kids, some of them wanted to learn, some of them were just there. And that attitude is hard to overcome sometimes, the attitude of not wanting to learn. You can't make someone learn. So, yeah.
And then what about the transition from that if they ended in seventh, eighth, ninth, or whatever that is to the high school?
High school was a lot more fun. I was in Galena, Kansas, and we had show choirs and we had concert choirs, and we'd go on tour. We'd go to competitions and have show choirs. It was a lot of fun, actually. And I could explain concepts to them where they would understand. I could be more detailed in my explanations and showing them things as they were more advanced.
Yeah, and so that's what is the difference in like how do I ask this question? Um, so you're talking, I guess how I'm hearing you talk about this so far is like your experience with the students. What is your experience as a teacher? What kind of shifts do you need to make from the very simplistic kind of let's play a game to the more complex? How does that have to shift in your mindset?
Well, you have to go through the techniques, the exercises, the rhythm exercises, the vocal pedagogy things, and try to get them on board with this is what we need to learn before we can sing this song. These are some
Mhm.
things we need to know. We need to know what this word means. We need to know how we're going to shape this note. How are you going to make this high A? How do you think we're going to get there? We have to have air. So we went through the process of how we produce air, how we use our bodies, more detail,
Mm.
and they would mostly grasp that they needed those techniques to actually sing that song.
Yeah. And interesting. So, well, let's see. What would be one lesson that you've taken away from teaching new students that you would want to pass on to either aspiring music? Well, let's start with aspiring music teachers.
First of all, you need to make the lesson where the child or the student understands what you're doing. If you speak in terms of music words, they have no clue. You need to make the terminology something they understand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, so I had to explain what we were doing, why we were doing it, how to do it, and let's do it together. So whenever I would sing with the child, I would make sure I sang with them so they would understand what I wanted. So I would be showing them what I wanted the sound to be. And they had something to listen to emulate. So I would be with them when I start teaching children. I sing with them. I show them what I want them to do and how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And we just go at their pace, whatever they can do, however they learn. Mm-hmm. And once they learn this basic, then we go to that one, and then the next one. So we build. It's like all music builds on progression, sequences. Yeah. And so once you get the sequence down, then you build on that, and you continue on. So I would say for beginning teachers, go easy on the children. Go easy. Start slow. Because all of this is new to them. They're just used to just blasting out and singing in their throat. So when you're telling them to sing using proper control, they have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah. So you need to be easy with them. Show them as an example.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard you talk a lot about the control of the sound. How would you talk about the control of or developing, let's say, rhythm?
A lot of rhythm exercises, I think, are basic. Just starting with the basic rhythms. The quarter notes, the half notes, then go to the dotted rhythms. I found that conducting helps me when I'm learning a new piece, and so I think conducting might be a way to help the child learn where the beat is, where the notes are. And so that's going to be one of my techniques, is to teach them how to conduct the piece that they're on so they feel the downbeat. And then they feel, where does the syncopation fit in that downbeat? Mm. And go through mathematically, what are we doing? 1.5 for the dotted quarter note. Then the eighth is a half. Okay, together that makes 2 beats. Mm-hmm. But it's not just quarter note beats, is it? Because we dotted the quarter, so it's longer. It's 1.5 beats now. So that's called syncopation. So I explain it to them using math. Sometimes I even use money. The whole note generally is 4 beats. So that likens itself to $1. The half note is like a 50-cent piece, and I show them a 50-cent piece. That's 2 beats, half note. Then the quarter note, well, that would be like a quarter. And then you can take these notes, and we would do math problems with them. We'd add, subtract, multiply, divide until they knew the note values, and then they could recognize them when we saw them in a music piece. Mm. And that was a game for them too, to do math problems.
Yeah, that's always fun. And it gets like, they call it the connection is the new standard in the 2014 national standards, where you have to connect it to some other experience to help form the associations in your mind. Mm-hmm. As it's easier to remember something if you're associating it with past knowledge.
Very good.
Yeah, you did it.
I did it. I didn't know.
One, it's that's a new standard actually in music education that wasn't there when they originally created the standards in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think good teachers just do that naturally, because we know that, like, one of the reasons it takes younger kids so long to learn something is because they don't have any reference of anything else to compare it to.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, the more we learn, then the easier it becomes to learn new things.
Yes, and we build on what we already have learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. Let's get into some questions. We talked about your beginnings. And we talked, I guess, that you did say when you did the solos in high school, that's when you realized that it was more than just a hobby and it was really, really fun. Right. How do you balance the joy of playing and performing live with the discipline of practicing?
Well, it's 2 sides of the same coin. If you want the joy of performing and doing a good job, you have to practice to get to that point. The technique has to be there.
Yeah.
If you go into a performance without the technique, you're going to blow it, and
Yeah.
it's going to be obvious. So who wants to do that? You always want to be your best when you're performing. So do the homework, get the skills necessary, keep your technique up, and then the joy will come.
Hmm. Do you, when you're performing, do you feel a lot of people I talk with have almost this transcendent experience where there's well, I mean, that's why music is one of the best ways to worship because there is that
Mhm.
connection. But do you feel that additional presence when you're performing that is I don't know, people experience it different ways. So I'll just ask, do you feel an addition?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I feel like I'm part of a great big whole. Uh,
Mm.
I'm just one part of this universe of
Hmm.
sound, and I'm joining in, uh, and it's like I'm connected to
Yeah.
all these other people singing. It's pretty mind-boggling, actually. So I'm not just singing to you; I'm singing with others.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain,
Yeah.
but there's a joy there that's incredible when
Hmm.
you realize you're joining with others in this, let's say, worship experience, and it's not about you.
Hmm.
You're providing the sound, but it's not for your benefit so
Yeah.
much.
Well, and it's interesting even too, the word the etymological root of universe is a single verse, right? In like what, the Symphony of Life, I suppose, or something. So
Yep, yep,
we just were participating in this.
that's right, that's right. We use our gifts. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it. And I find that that skill set transfers into other areas of my life where it's like when I'm conversing with somebody, it's like, oh, we're in harmony. And then you start talking about something, it's like, oh, this is really creating some dissonance right now. I need to resolve this to get the harmony back because this is uncomfortable.
Exactly. You use these words all the time. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, so, uh, So as you're practicing and you're talking about you need to prepare for the performance, make sure that you're prepared because then it makes the performance actually fun instead of a train wreck, or I forget the exact word that you use. But what can you talk about a particularly challenging piece or technique that you worked on and how you approached mastering it for a performance?
Yes. I was doing the Handel's Messiah, the Rejoice, it right before I went on instead of just skipping over it because I wanted it to be right.
Yeah, so I think that's really important for people to understand. It's not it's dialing in on the issues that you have to make that better. And you can, as you're doing a first pass over music, you can understand,
Mhm.
you feel that in your body, like, oh, that was tense, or that was,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I need to relax here. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I had one friend in, he was at Harvey Mudd. I met him in the Harvey Mudd Jazz improv class, and he said that what he would do is he'd actually learn a piece backwards so that he would learn the last measure, then he'd learn the last two measures, then the last three.
Oh,
That way, by the time that he got to the beginning, he would be really near perfect at the end.
how
And
interesting.
yeah, I'd never heard that before, and I've never even tried it. It's been 12 years since he told me that, and
Wow.
it sounds like
That's
a
neat.
way of learning things. Um, so, like, what happens when you are trying to master, like, you're focused and you're like, this one note or this one phrase is very complex. I need to focus on this. Uh, and you just are not getting it right. If you do feel like giving up, what keeps you going
No,
during?
no, no. Giving up's not an option.
Hmm.
It's part of the piece. You need to learn it.
Hmm.
It's a challenge. You need to approach it and just figure out, dissect it. What is the problem? What is it about this piece, this particular piece, that's giving me trouble? Analyze. Okay, is it the rhythm? Is it the vocal, the vowel sound, the pitch? Analyze. Sometimes in music, excuse me, you will be between two notes, and it's called the break.
Hmm.
And you have to master the break. For a soprano, it's between E flat and E, and you have to go over that break. What, smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate you on the podcast, even though you're still getting over the cold.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. No, that's okay.
Well, this part you're going to cut out.
Part of the charm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you're singing music, you can't just cut that out too. That's another great point. Is what happens if you have this kind of respiratory issue and you have a performance coming up?
Well, you just turn excuse me, turn away and cough or whatever.
Yeah.
Might take some medicine.
Did you ever do like honey lemon water or something before? Did you have a pre performance routine if you were feeling sick?
Honey lemon water.